Hello students, today's topic is ferromagnetism. We have already discussed paramagnetism and diamagnetism in previous classes. So what is ferromagnetism? It is the phenomenon of magnetizing a substance into a strong magnet by application of external field. That means if external field is applied to a material, it becomes a very strong magnet. Okay, so how in ferromagnetic materials, first recall how it happens in case of paramagnetic materials. In case of paramagnetic materials, the individual dipole moments are formed because of individual atoms, molecules, etc. when this B naught is applied, but these are very few in number. That's why its magnetization is very small. That means it is very weak magnet. But in case of ferromagnetism, this is not the process. Then what is the process? Suppose the B naught is not applied and this is a ferromagnetic material. In ferromagnetic material like iron, initially there are domains. I will tell you what is a domain. These are domains. So what is a domain? Domain is nothing but a microscopic volume inside the material. There are so many microscopic level volumes. That means small volumes. Then what is the purpose of these volumes? These are the volumes within which the atoms and molecules align their dipole moments in a particular direction spontaneously. That means whatever is the number of atoms or molecules inside this volume, all are having the dipole moments in a particular direction. That means there is a net magnetic dipole moment in a particular direction. Let us suppose it is like this. That means this is the dipole moment of this domain. In case of paramagnetic materials, we were considering individual atoms and molecules, but in this case we are not considering them. We are considering rather a bunch of molecules or atoms. That is called a domain. Okay. So this one is like this. This is another. They can be in any direction, any random fashion, no problem. This is the inside structure without the application of external force or external magnetic field. Now what happens if the magnetic field is applied? If the magnetic field is applied, what happens? Obviously it will align the lines in that particular direction. Now these dipole moments are the result of alignment of so many dipole moments inside the domain. Now if you align all of these, that means the domain size will increase or not. Now suppose this one is in this direction. After applying this, it will try to align them in that particular direction. Now this is in that direction, this one is also in that direction. That means there is a possibility that these atoms will combine with these atoms and form a new dipole moment which is bigger in magnitude. So the resultant structure will be somehow like, that means the domain size will increase because of alignment. Okay, so because of alignment, neighboring domains combine to form larger domains. So if they form larger domains, so obviously these values will be larger. That means it will become a stronger magnet. Okay, more the dipole moment, stronger is the magnet. So this is the inside structure after the field is applied. So in this way it becomes a stronger magnet. Now what are the examples of ferromagnetic materials? So examples, let us turn to the examples. Before going through examples, let us first find out what is the classification, okay, types of ferromagnetic materials. There are again two types. Number one, hard ferromagnetic materials. Hard ferromagnetic materials. What is hard ferromagnetic material? Very simple. If you apply magnetic field and the substance becomes a magnet or it gets magnetized, and then you replace the magnetic field. Now it has already become a ferromagnetic material and it is having some dipole moment, and then replace the magnetic field. If that magnetic property persists inside the material, then it is said hard ferromagnetic material. After removing the external field, if its magnetic property is retained by the material, then it is called hard ferromagnetic material. Example, very good example is alnico. What is alnico? It is an alloy. Alloy of what? Iron, then aluminium, then nickel. I think nickel spelling is wrong, okay, whatever. Then cobalt. Then is our aluminium, nickel, cobalt. Then is I think yes, copper. Then it is copper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 metals, and this alloy consists of 5 metals. Alnico. This is a very good example of hard ferromagnetic material. Another example is your lodestone. What is lodestone? That is natural magnet that you are finding from markets. Okay, lodestone, that is obtained directly from the earth crust. Okay, these are the two examples. Then number 2 is our soft ferromagnetic material. Number 2 is soft. Of course, you must have guessed till now what the soft ferromagnetic material is. Obviously, if you remove the external field, there will be no magnetic field, or the substance will no more be a magnet. So what is the example? Soft ferromagnetic material. It could be something your, one second, let me check the example. Yes, it is a soft iron. Soft iron. Okay. So this is all about examples. Then what is the value of relative permeability? Relative permeability, that is mu r, of a ferromagnetic material. That is what could be its order. It is of the order always greater than 1000. Okay. So then what is the effect of temperature on ferromagnetic materials? Effect of temperature. Of course, you do know that if temperature is increased, the substances actually lose their magnetic property. So obviously, if a ferromagnetic material is given temperature, is given heat, its temperature will increase, and gradually it will lose its ferromagnetic property, and finally it will become paramagnetic. So it will, from ferro to, it will become para when, if the temperature crosses a certain value, if the temperature is greater than Tc. Here Tc is Curie temperature. Curie temperature. Okay. Once the temperature is greater than Tc, then the substance is no more a ferromagnetic. It becomes paramagnetic material. Then after it becomes paramagnetic, then the chi value will be somehow C by T minus Tc. It is the formula for, this is also called Curie's law. Okay. Curie formula also you can call it. Curie formula. Curie's formula. Now this formula is valid only for there is a condition. If T is greater than Tc, this formula is valid. Otherwise not valid. For ferromagnetic material, this formula is not valid. Once that ferromagnetic material becomes paramagnetic after the temperature Tc, then you can apply this formula. That's all. Okay. So this is all about ferromagnetism, but there is one most important characteristic of ferromagnetic materials, that is hysteresis. Hysteresis. Okay, hysteresis. This is the most important characteristic of ferromagnetic materials, but I don't think there is enough time to discuss all this about this hysteresis in this class. We shall discuss it in the next class. Okay. Okay. Thank you.